the French psychiatric institution practices a form of constraint with under law. The patients, to get out of the hospital, are forced, otherwise they don't get out, to sign a contract, a constraining contract for them, forcing them to come to temporary deportation for mornings, for afternoons, for activities, for lunches, for periods of prisons where, from the testimony, they are left there for nothing, to do nothing, with activities when they are, that are, to have seen a few, completely debilitating, organized by people whose security scheme is the only way they see the other people. And this contract they are forced to follow, otherwise the institution come to their home and take them back to the institution. This contract can comprise home visits, daily home visits. We have example, someone who receives at 6 o'clock and where he should be sleeping, and in the middle of the afternoon where he should be busy to his activities at 5 o'clock, the visit of a nurse to give him medicines he doesn't know what they do. And he cannot refuse to take. If he refuses one day, the institution sends the gorillas. With the police, with the SWAT, it happened to us twice, 3 times, with the firemen who are complice to this social expropriation, no, because they are not proprietary, that this social chase, firemen participate to this without a question regarding what the patients say. And so after they are hospitalized, to get out they have to follow this treatment, this social control treatment, which is mandatory and under the threat, the active threat of a reinstitutionalization by force, for the only motive they would be suspect of something which is even recognized in the law as the prohibition itself, the prohibition to be in rupture of treatment. So, the citizens can take whatever they want as a treatment and decide any minute without justification to stop because they don't like it, because it doesn't work, because they have another idea, another medicine, and so on. But we other people, we mentally challenged people, we do not have this right. We cannot refuse the torture. We cannot refuse the physical torture in the institution. We cannot refuse the chemical torture at home. We cannot refuse the treatment. And those who stop the treatment are considered as outlaws, and a giant chase begins where the hospitals already prepares a bed in advance, knowing that the social control services will eventually be able to catch the maverick and to beat him good in the institution, as we saw. Yes, and this contract, illegal contract, must be recognized as such. If a legal disposition doesn't benefit the legal basis to comply with the principle of the law, here, stipulating a citizen in France decides of his medical treatment, And there is no under citizenship in France. A citizen is a citizen, or there is no citizenship. This is the consequence. And so, as we are not citizens, there is no citizenship in France. And this corresponds exactly to the absence of the habeas corpus in France. The absence of this elementary principle of law, for instance, makes it impossible to hire a lawyer in France without having first to explain the case. And it's the lawyer who decides if he takes the case or not. You understand, in complex cases, you cannot deliver your case before a lawyer, which would eventually not let you hire him. And so it makes impossible to defend ourselves from this problem of the under-citizenship into which we are placed, which negates our rights, which wrecks our health, which destroys our brain, and kills us a third earlier than we should, for no medical reason. So, this brave medicine has invented a trick. It says it's the disease which kills, which shortens the life of these people. All right. So, what does research say about these diseases? Well, research says we cannot find a significant deviation into the brain of these bodies compared with the average variety of all there is in nature. So, the medical basis for which we mistreat and torture these people and kill them actively, day by day, and they die in the hospital, the police comes and says, oh, it's normal. We have a story, a cadaver rested for 2 days in full summer, 2 years ago, in an isolation chamber, attached, where he died. And the police came only a few days after to find he certainly died of a heart attack because he was stressed and he shouldn't have agitated on his deathbed, and that there would be no inquiry. Or this other one, strong, healthy man, who falls in the corridor, and also not the motive for an inquiry. All good. These people die, and they don't get the justice they deserve. So this is a problem. And the main problem is the social control of these people. Why does the state insist in controlling them in these ways? What is the benefit? There is none. It costs a fortune. Every day these people cost, maybe they receive $30, but they cost maybe 200 behind. This social control, the torture, the deportation, the camps, are a burden to the finances of the society. And for no benefit for the peasants who would prefer to stop the medicines and live freely, all. And they even integrate the notion to remain free, they have to stay out of the rupture of the treatment. So they integrate the notion that slavery to the treatment is the condition of their freedom. Freedom of what? Certainly not to be defining themselves in a liberty, because the injunction is you cannot be who you are. You cannot be. So you are left vegetating your entire life without having the possibility to be, for a condition which is not medical. And this is aggravated by the fact this medicine is not a medicine. Psychiatry has formed as an abuse of medicine principles. This has been shown extensively by an entire library of researchers. We already mentioned many in the text, so you read the fucking manual, and then you have a problem. What is the price of this tortured life? So if you remember, 40,000 people left dead by starvation during the Shoah. The camps, the Nazi camps opened. The Gulag opened. The camps in North Korea will open one day. The psychiatric camp never opened. The deportation is on right now. And they make lists of people they want to arrest because they want to get their apartments back because someone couldn't pay the last rent or has been denounced by a neighbor or has been snitched by a social worker or worker about a sanitary condition which doesn't please the good normalcy. And this deportation, this genocide of we other people is aggravated by the fact the adjustment variable of the housing crisis in France is managed by a massive deportation of population who are totally not of the other people, but who are taken into the grid of this meat grinder, and who, when they go back into the society, are zombified forever with a trauma. They have the stigmata attached to their body and mind forever, and social constitution and all, because their file will follow them their entire life. Wherever they go in an administration, this will blink at one point or another. They will be ostracized socially for the people they knew before. They are dead. They cannot meet with their old friends because they have lost all credibility, because the message sent is, if you're cuckoo, if you're institutionalized, so is it that you become something else that a citizen, something else that a human being. You become the object of rejection itself. The great bouncer of all rejection. And these valid people taken into this meat grinder do not have the reserve, the existential reserve of being to bear with this in their life. They are given medicines which induce premature death, suicide. These medicines are given massively to obtain this effect of genocide, silent genocide. The care they are given, for instance, in hospitals in France, when you have problem to the teeth, you get your teeth fixed, cured. In the psychiatric institutions, in all psychiatric institutions of France, when a patient has a problem with his teeth, the teeth is arrached, is removed, even if it could have been saved. And these people have no teeth, as President Holland humorously said and laughed at. The no teeth people. The Homo program of extrajudicial assassinations in France would like to engage us, and a recent law about whistleblowing has been passed in France, which protects the whistleblowers. So the DGSI Actually, the DGSC who makes these hits. The DGSC is lending an element to the DGSI to organize an accident for us, to kill us, so that we cannot continue to claim our rights. Do you think they will succeed?